With pleasure.
From the Thomaston Place Auction Galleries in Thomaston, Maine, I'm Elizabeth McLeod with Auction Waves.
32,500, 100,000 there. Players all over the house. 400,000 on this rare piece, and 600,000, 900,000, 1 million, 1,175,000 once, 100,175,000 twice. We all good? Sold.
A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. So wrote the poet Keats, and so agrees every collector who has gazed upon a rare and precious gem. Fine jewelry gives us all the opportunity to bring that beauty into our own lives. And fine jewelry will be our focus in July's antique, vintage, and designer jewelry auction, taking place at the gallery on July 11th. On this edition of Auction Waves, we'll spend some time with Thomaston Place Auction Gallery's Associate Jewelry Specialist, Sylvia Lee, to touch upon some of the highlights in this exciting one-day-only event. But first, the latest auction news. Our Summer Splendor auction brought the month of June to a triumphant climax, with items from the collections of Herb Belkin and Sally Jesse Raphael generating nationwide interest and worldwide bidding. Perhaps the finest surviving copy of the ultra-rare Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs release of Journey's 1981 album Escape doubled expectations when it gavelled down for a cool $4,000, the highest price ever paid for a record at our gallery. And Herb Belkin's personal Rock-Ola jukebox, loaded with his own personal playlist, also doubled its pre-auction estimate.
I had 10,000 back with Page, and now 11,000. I have 10,000, now 11. 10,000 once, 10,000 twice. We all in, all done at 10,000 with Page and selling. We all in, all done now. 10,000 once, twice, and Page 10,000. 3-2-1 buys. 10,000. That's a great machine.
Art was well represented in this auction as well, with a signed print by Alexander Calder from the rare Flight portfolio published by the International Rescue Committee, also selling above estimates at $4,250. And a breathtaking original pastel portrait by James McNeill Whistler goes to its new owner for $15,000. Historic firearms, as always, brought vigorous interest from bidders, with a pristine specimen of a third model 1860 Henry .44 caliber rimfire rifle, blasting expectations with a winning bid of $15,000. The highest price for a single item realized over the three-day auction saw an exquisitely preserved 1971 Mercedes-Benz Pagoda-style Roadster changing hands for a cool $65,000. And the biggest surprise of the auction? A concrete garden sculpture of a hard-working cat wielding a shovel that once stood in Sally Jesse Raphael's garden went for 10 times the pre-auction estimate, heading to its new home for $950. With Summer Splendor receding in the rearview mirror, we look ahead now to our Summer Grandeur auction, coming up fast on August 29th, 30th, and 31st. 3 original works by Andrew Wyeth from the extensive estate collection of Linda Bean will draw global attention, along with an impressive collection of rare, tall clocks. Outstanding works by other important artists, including William Thon, Abraham Bogdanov, and Dalov Ipkar, will also appear on our block, along with additional items from the Herb Belkin estate and the Sally Jesse Raphael collection, and a big, bright assortment of artwork, fine decor, and unique collectibles to suit every taste. The full catalog will be released online, so keep an eye on our website, thomastonauction.com. I'm Elizabeth McLeod, and this is Auction Waves. All that glitters is not gold. Maybe it's platinum. And whatever glitters, whatever shimmers or shines, we've got it for you in our antique, vintage, and designer jewelry auction, ready to welcome you at Thomaston Place Auction Galleries on Friday, July 11th. And joining us today with the keys to the jewelry case is our own associate jewelry specialist, Sylvia Lee. And Sylvia, the first question that I would ask is, how did you get interested in fine jewelry? What drew you first to that profession?
No child can resist their mom's jewelry box. Like, my interest in jewelry probably started the first time I tried on my mom's crystal necklace. I think you probably did the same thing.
Exactly.
And like, I always dreamed of being like a jewelry designer, which is why I chose to major in jewelry design. So like during my undergraduate studies, I focused on gem identification and including the color stones and all the jade, and also jewelry fabrications and the stone cutting. So later, like when I entered in this auction industry, I continued like my education through GIA courses to keep myself grounded in this field.
Now, I think that the tendency that we all have to decorate ourselves with shiny, sparkly things is perhaps the most fundamental aspect of humanity. Even before there was civilization, people were making jewelry. Yeah. And an entire culture has developed, as you well know, around the jewelry industry, and it has its own language, it has its own definitions, it has its own standards. So before we get into the items, I want to kind of define terms. First off, how exactly do we define antique jewelry?
Well, for antique, I feel like generally in the term of antique is refers to the pieces that are over 100 years old, especially in the auction field. This usually includes the Georgian, Victorian, and Edwardian eras. So when buying like a antique jewelry, we will looking for authenticity, craftsmanship, and condition. And if you need any provenance and maker's mark, those can also add the value.
So this is sort of a moving target. If the definition of antique is 100 years old, we're coming up now on the era when Art Deco jewelry will become antique and perhaps move into a higher price point because of that. Is that how that tends to work? Does antique jewelry tend to sell for more than later types?
I mean, that's kind of not only because of the period, it's also about how the design and how the material they use and like how people likes and how the marketing trend goes. It's like a lot of combination. It's not just because of the period, but definitely as the time goes, the Art Deco thing will add more collectible value there.
Now we are getting to the point also where we have the dividing line into vintage jewelry, and I guess that would mean from the 1930s on forward as we presently stand.
Yeah, the vintage jewelry will like typical refers to the pieces from like 1920s to 1980s. So I think that's include like style like Art Deco, like ritual, and also mid-century modern.
It was during that period that you first started to see synthetic materials becoming something that were respectable as jewelry, was something that would be legitimate and something that you would invest in.
Yeah, that's a kind of like a revolution because people want something colorful, something playful. It's not only just like a piece of little stone shining there.
And then we come to designer jewelry. Now, does this mean, now the term designer as it was used in, say, the 80s tended to reflect something that was branded very ostentatiously with the name of a prominent designer, but that isn't really what it means in the jewelry trade, is it? Doesn't that mean more that it's one-of-a-kind, uniquely made pieces by a single person who came up with the idea rather than a mass-produced item?
I think that's like to both include in this kind of term. Is like designer jewelry, usually it can be a brand, very well known, like Tiffany or Cartier or Van Cleef. Those has the master's signature and with the worldwide brand kind of thing. But it also can include some unique, one-of-kind pieces, like by independent designer. It's both like include the high quality of the material or like the superior craftsmanship. And also like when you buy a designer jewelry, I mean, it's not just about the name. A lot of times it's include the value, the consistency, and the experience.
So you're getting an entire package.
Exactly.
It's the effort that went into it. Mm-hmm. Now, we often hear the term estate jewelry used, and that seems to be a little less specifically designed. Can that apply to any item that has been previously owned?
Yeah, this is like a very broad term, especially like in the auction or some secondary market. It's usually just something previously owned by someone. It can be an antique or it can be a vintage, and it's even can be just a modern piece.
So it's not important to simply say that it's estate jewelry. You should probably also define how it was estate jewelry. Was it owned by a prominent person, for example? Would that be a higher level of estate jewelry, do you think?
Definitely. I mean, same in like antique. If it's from some famous state, it's gonna be add more value. But if we have like very clear provenance for any pieces of antique or any pieces of state artwork, it's gonna add more value for sure.
Now, do you find that people tend to buy fine jewelry more as an investment, or is it something they buy to wear? You know, I wear my grandmother's watch from 1938 pretty much every day, and I don't really think anything about it. It's just my watch. But are there precautions that you should take when you're wearing antique or vintage jewelry? Is it perhaps more delicate because of its age, or are there risks that you're taking?
When we're wearing the antique or vintage jewelry, it is important to be mindful of its age. Those pieces will be more delicate due to the older setting techniques or natural material wear. So we just avoiding wearing them during like high impact exercise, or keep them away from the chemicals and the moistures, and storage them carefully. I mean, also you can find like trusted jeweler to help with gentle cleaning and inspection for wear or loosening settings. Speak of like the investment or collectible, I feel it's like a 50-50. It doesn't matter because it is wonderful to wear your investment. I mean, nobody wears their stock certificates, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. Some people might try, but they wouldn't accomplish.
It doesn't work. I don't think it will work.
So how do you take the first step in starting a fine jewelry collection? I know that we're in the auction business, so there might be a bit of a bias in our own view of that, but are auctions a good place to find these sorts of items? And what questions should people ask us before they bid?
Yeah, I mean, auction is definitely a fantastic place to start with. Especially you can get like a better value. And also we have our specialist or catalog already put the very specific description, and sometimes it's come with a provenance, and you can ask the condition report. I think this is like everything.
You're getting a much more personalized experience.
Yeah, exactly. And also, especially for someone just don't want to step out their home, they can just search everything and give us a phone call or just email us to ask every detail. This is very nice.
So let's look at some of the items that we have coming up in this auction. Now, the first one let's take a look at 4087. Now, this is a white gold and diamond brooch from the Edwardian era, early 20th century. And what stands out for you when you look at this piece? I mean, when I look at a piece like this, I think of it as being something you'd wear as like a collar pin for a blouse. How else might you wear it?
I feel like before that, the first time I saw this, I saw nothing. Because it was blinded by all the diamonds fire.
It does.
Blind my eyes.
It does have a lot of glitter for an item so small, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the magic of old-cut diamonds. It's shining like every angle. And up close, you really notice, well, that's work done there is very delicate, the open work, like lace looks like. And the elegant design, and it's just stunning. I couldn't move my eyes over it.
We encourage everyone who's listening, by the way, while you're listening to our program here today, open up on a browser or on your phone the auction catalog, and you can follow along and see some very fine pictures of the items that we're talking about here.
Great idea.
And you will no doubt be amazed at how really, really beautiful some of them are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and speak of where to put that brooch, my personally thinks if you buy it, you can put anywhere you like. You can put on your coat, your hat, even on your hair.
I was just going to say that would make a very interesting hair clip, wouldn't it?
Exactly, and you should do some creativity.
Yeah.
There, it's not just this is a pin. It should be on there. There's nothing should. It's just follow your heart.
Exactly. So let's look on now at lot 4196. Now this is one that we have a lot to look at. There are 6 different types of gems in a 14-karat yellow gold bracelet. Now, if you like lots of color, this is the piece for you. Tell us a little bit about the stones here.
Yeah, this is such a solid piece. It's from 1970s or 80s, which is, I think, in that period, people was just very, love. We already said that people love a colorful, cool piece. And the stone there, it has the garnet, aquamarine, tourmaline, citrine, morganite. It's just everything there. If I feels like this piece, it's if you are tired to choose, or it's some people will have a hard to choose this, you can just grab this piece with you, and then it will reduce the 30 minutes before you get out of your home.
It's like walking out the door with a rainbow on your arm.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like that?
Yeah. Very pretty. And there's actually a similar piece in this sale as well. It's lot 4110. It's also a 6 color of jadeite pieces. It's same design, same vibe, but it's just one it's faceted stone, and one is cabochons, more charm and more low, more humble kind of style. So
it's not quite as pow. It's more kind of a gentle hey.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Either way that you have it. Now, we have a lot of rings in this auction. So before we get into them, what's your expert opinion? How many rings does it take to make a collection?
Wow, that's a hard question, because let me count some. We're gonna have some engagement rings, wedding bands, enhancers, anniversary bands, cocktail rings, pinky ring. I mean, I should stop at this point. Otherwise, we won't finish this interview.
There are as many different kinds of rings as it takes to make a collection.
Exactly. Collecting won't be this hard, or won't be this complicated. You just buy something, speaks to you. There's nothing must buy.
Right. You aren't. Yeah. There are no rules. There's no guidebook. There's no requirement that you follow a certain. There's no checklist.
Exactly. You can hear advice from someone, but there's no. Technically, there's no force, no pressure. It's just follow what you like, and also follow your budget. That's it. That's it.
Somebody once expressed it to me as buy what you love and love what you buy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think we'll have
a ring.
We should have a ring that says that. Yeah. We'll have t-shirts made.
Beautiful.
So, lot 4192 was a yellow, gold, and spinel ring. Tell me about it. What is spinel, and why is it distinctive?
This is a very funny thing, because spinel, it's a fascinating gem. People use it before people realize it's a spinel. So for centuries, people thought spinel was just another ruby, because it usually looks like red or blue. The famous one, it's the red gem in the British Imperial State Crown. It was known as Black Princess Ruby for almost 400 years before the gemologists realized it was actually a 170 carat spinel.
Wow.
So people find out until late 70s. But now, people fake, here has the quotation marks like fake is because it's like natural vibrate like ruby, and it's got great hardness, which is like very suitable for being a piece of good jewelry. And the color on the spinel is usually untreated, which means it's like no heated to add more color, which rubies and sapphire usually does that to make more like stronger. So I mean, even like more special for our spinel ring is it's like a grayish green. It's not like a normally color for spinel. So it's add like more collectible value, and also it's high clarity, and it's just very naturally beautiful on your hand.
It's the kind of ring I think that someone would say, when they saw it.
Yeah, and it's a good way to start a conversation. Like,
right.
oh,
what is that stone?
Yeah, exactly.
I have never seen one of those before.
It's beautiful.
It is. Where did you get that?
Yeah.
Thomaston Place Auction Gallery.
Exactly. Say that aloud.
Say that out loud a lot. All right, 4092 is a gentleman's ring, a vintage star sapphire and gold. Now, I look at this and I see it being worn by a powerful businessman in a 1930s movie. What's unique about it to you?
For this one, so the thing makes this one is very special. It's a cabochon cut sapphire. It's not like very people normally do with the sapphires, because people always want the fire, want the sparkle.
So it's not faceted.
Yeah, exactly. And then it creates like a phenomenon called asterism on it. It's a 6 red star across on the surface. So when the lights move, you can see like there's little star on the surface.
It actually looks like there are moving rays of light in the stone.
Yeah.
Like it's actually glowing, which is a very interesting phenomenon to see under lights.
Exactly. That looks like a starry night on your ring. How cool is that?
Yes.
And so I imagine you said someone's like successful or wearing this, but in my opinion, I will think it's someone very thoughtful, elegant, and also like quite confidence, because they don't need a faceted stone to give them the confidence. They will like, I'm like confident enough I can handle this very humble, very quiet ring.
Yes, it is really quite, and it's also very small. It's like a 6.5.
Yeah.
So might it have been like a pinky ring?
Yeah.
Or it can be resized.
Yeah.
That's the other wonderful thing about gold rings, especially, is that if it doesn't fit, well, you can make it fit. Lot 4177 is another men's ring, and this is one out of the Art Deco era, and there's a lot going on. There's an emerald flanked by 2 diamonds. Kind of give us the picture here.
Yes, it's size 9.5, little larger than the last one, and it has like a very nice solid weight as well. This one has a little tiny I would like to say there has a little tiny chip on the emerald, which is very common as well, because emerald is kind of very fragile stone. It's hardness, but still fragile. When it grows, it will has a lot of feathers and also a lot of inclusions in the stone. So emerald is definitely something you need to take special care of stone. It's not a stone you can wearing and do some, very strengths.
You wouldn't want to wear it working in the garden.
No. Yeah, that one's like very cute. And also, I think this one was made for men. But for now, I think it's just like everyone can wear it. Especially, add some pop of dramatic interest to their look. That's it.
A statement piece.
Yes, there's like nothing, really sad. You can wear it. It's gentleman.
We live in a world where you can wear any ring you want.
Exactly.
So 4157, lot 4157 is a real eye catcher. Now, we have here a single strand necklace of natural aquamarine beads. I would wear this anywhere. This is a gorgeous necklace.
I love it.
What do you find most distinctive about it?
I definitely catch by the first sight. The icy blue color. I love it. It's like so refreshing. And aquamarine is like very cool. I just touch it, so it's gonna be perfect for the summer.
It looks like it would be very refreshing to wear on a hot day.
And it's like a graduated size, so it gives you a little bit visual like movements, not boring.
That graduated style was very popular around the mid 1940s, and I have a couple of pearl necklaces that are in that style. But the Aquamarine, I have to admit that I am looking at with great interest.
And you know what? Aquamarine's actually the birthstone for March. Yeah, and what's your...
I'm in May, so I have to wear a brittle emerald.
Then you need to be careful in the summer.
I have to
sure.
be. There's a lot of things that I have to be careful about. Lot 4093. Now this is a really fun piece, and this is a really beautiful piece. This is this finely detailed gold spider brooch, and his abdomen is made out of deep green jade.
Yes.
There is a lot going on here. What stands out for you?
My favorite part of this piece is the green jade, because it's like a very, very rondo cut. So it makes the spider looks more adorable, because usually they were a little scary, for sure.
So this is a cute spider.
Yeah, it's a very cute spider. It's already looks like a bee.
Yeah.
This one is like so charming, and also the insects theme jewelry become very popular during the Victorian era and picked during the Art Nouveau. I mean, wearing a little vintage spider on your blouse is just such like a unique and a very fun way, to look.
Imagine going into a room with the spider in your hair.
Wow.
You can kind of make a real entrance.
No.
I like the idea though of taking a piece like this and putting it somewhere where nobody would expect it to show up.
Yeah, this is like icebreaker.
Yeah, it's a great thing for going to a party or a gathering and coming in with this and not saying anything about it. Don't draw attention to it. Just have it there on your jacket or your sweater,
Yeah, and even just sitting in your jewelry box, it's still like a very fun piece to watch.
So lot 4064 is another antique piece. This is an 18-karat gold Etruscan revival brooch from the Victorian era. Now, the Victorian era was known for making references to past historic periods. What makes this Etruscan piece so distinctive?
I think it's definitely about the workmanship there. It was inspired by the ancient Italian goldsmithing, especially like use the tiny gold beads and fine work just like this piece. So if you take a very close look at, you can say it decorated with tiny textured gold beads, and there's like wires framing a floral center. It's very, very elegant, beautiful.
And it looks very delicate, so you'd want to probably be careful where you wear it. I wouldn't wear this in your hair.
No, maybe not this one. And it's also 18 carats gold, little softer than 14K, so you definitely need to be more careful about this piece. But the gold is never go out of style, especially more purity. It has more value, it adds. And have you seen the gold price lately?
Yes, exactly. You can never go wrong with gold.
No.
And as you say, it's a good thing to remember that the higher the carat, the softer the metal. So you do want to keep that in mind when you're wearing a piece.
Exactly.
Now, 4288 is an interesting lady's ring. This is 14 karat gold, and it has 5 small pearls along it, and it's marked Birks, B-I-R-K-S. Who is Birks, and why are they significant?
Birks has another name called Tiffany of Canada. So this is from very famous Canadian jeweler, and it's founded in 19th century, and they are known for fine workmanship and elegant classic style. So this one we will consider as a designer jewelry. It is like a very good opportunity to have this one.
So finally, lot 4202. Now this I would say is probably the most unusual item in the auction. This is a 14 karat gold pendant necklace made in the form of a little tiny abacus, complete with movable beads.
Yeah.
What's the origin of this piece?
In like a very long time, especially in East Asian culture, this one means it's a symbol of wisdom wealth and business success. So who don't want this?
That's wonderful.
Very
Well,
nice.
thank you very much, Sylvia Lee, for discussing these items with us. Will you be bidding?
Yes. I already have my bid card.
So you already know what you're going for.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask because I don't want to give away your game.
And also, thank you so much
Well,
for...
we're very glad to have you on the show, and I wish you very great success in your bidding, and I always look forward to hearing what you have to say about these items as they come in. I see you working at your desk and peering at them very carefully, and I know there's a great story waiting to be told.
Thank you so much, and hope everyone can find something to speak to them in our July 11th jewelry auction. Whatever you collecting, gifting, or just dreaming, there's something here for everyone.
Jewels often in their silent kind, more than quick words, do move a woman's mind. Or for that matter, a man's mind too. The passion for fine jewelry knows no boundaries. All it requires is a discerning eye and the ability to dream. And dreams come true Friday, July 11th at our antique, vintage, and designer jewelry auction. You can preview the items up for bid in person at the gallery, 51 Atlantic Highway in Thomaston, and of course the entire catalog, along with full particulars on how to register and be a part of the excitement, can be found online at thomastonauction.com. And if you'd like to know more about the Gemological Institute of America, visit their website at www.gia.edu. And I've just got time to remind you before I take my leave that Tishri Dobson is at the piano today. Dave Allen bridges the gaps on the guitar, and the entire program is produced, written, and edited for you by Elizabeth McLeod, who wishes you smooth sailing and happy bidding for Auction Waves. Auction Waves is an exclusive presentation of Thomaston Place Auction Galleries in Thomaston, Maine.